Hey everyone, episode 12, week 14. Let's get started. So, first of all, sorry for last week. We were a little bit all over the place. I think we could have done a better job explaining what we were doing, videotaping what we were doing. But as a recap, we checked for mites. We did a sugar roll test. Worked out really well. We had no mites, so it means we don't have to treat our bees. We moved a couple of brood frames from the lower box into the upper box to see if we could coax the bees up to build out some of the new frames up there. We fed them another gallon of sugar water. This week we're switching to 2-to-1 ratio as opposed to 1-to-1 ratio of sugar water. We didn't find the queen, so we didn't get the marker. But hopefully we find her this week and we get the marker. So it's been raining for the last 3 days, but a lot of flowers are out in bloom right now, which is good. Bees should be out foraging in full force. There's a lot of movement in the box and not that much bearding, which means that they're probably out. Today I'm going to check to see whether or not they filled up the top box or if they started building on the top box, and in the second box where we moved the frames out, we're going to feed them 2-to-1 sugar water mix, which I've already made. Let it sit around for a little bit, see if it actually mixes. And again, if I find a queen, I hope to mark her, but she's been hiding from us lately, so let's get moving to the hive.
Bumps in your heart.
Smoke is good. Guards are on. Let's get rolling. Alright, sugar water is basically all out, but it looks like they've had a little bit of it, which is good, or left a little bit of it, which is good because it means that they're actually out foraging. Few bees on the lid there, and a bunch up here. Let's take a look at how we're doing. Woohoo! Look at that. Brand new drawn comb. Okay, this was one of the brood frames we moved up from below. We have a ton of brood on it, and they've started building it out for honey. This was one of the empty frames, and look at that beautiful handmade drawn comb. Sorry for the quick interruption. So I'm editing this video right now, and I realize that you might not know what the heck I'm talking about when I'm saying frames with no foundation or foundationless frames, and what I mean by when the bees are building their own combs. So 2 weeks ago, we put a new box on top of the Hive with 10 frames with no foundation in them. And you can see those right here. So hope this makes sense. These frames have nothing in them except for a little bit of wax to get the bees started. As opposed to what we did at the very beginning, which is put frames in with full foundations, which you can see right here. As you can see, these frames have a whole bunch of wax that the bees can build on. So what we're trying to do here is get the bees to make all of these frames with their own wax. It takes a little bit more time, but then when you're making honey, you can take all the wax and squeeze it out better and just pop it out and put the frames back in. I guess let's get back to it. This was one of the brood frames that we moved up, and it's still completely hatched out brood frame, which is good. This was a combless frame, and they've started building a ton of comb on this one. So I'm gonna venture to say that building into the top box was a smart idea, because they've started drawing this one out also. So we'll feed them this week, and I bet by next week there'll be a lot more built out. Sorry, little buddy, I didn't mean to roll you. Cool. Top box is finished. Let's move down below. This was a frame with no drawn comb on it, and this is all drawn comb by the bees for the bees, which is incredible. Here's another frame that had nothing on it last week at all. Now has completely drawn comb and a bunch of pollen stores. Amazing. She's doing an awesome job. They're doing an awesome job. And she started laying in this one, it looks like. Okay, so take a look inside here. You'll see a bunch of eggs all the way down. I'll circle them when I do the video, but look at this. Just killing it on this brand new frame. This frame is starting to have capped honey on it, tons of brood still, tons of larvae, so we're doing really well on it. And the end frame has a bunch of capped honey. So I'm not going to go down into the third box. We're doing really well here. She's obviously laying up a storm still. They're building on the empty comb, which is what I wanted, and they will keep doing that. So we're just gonna put all these bees back in and let them do their thing. Alrighty, so let's do a quick recap. First of all, they did a really good job. They built the two frames that we put down where we removed brood frames are completely filled. I'll link to those down below, or I'll put the minute marker on it to see those. The feeding went well. We put 2 to 1 sugar water. It's really thick, but it looks good. On the top, they filled 3 frames out of new comb. They started putting brood in a new comb. It's all frameless, or all foundationless comb, which is awesome. So overall, really well. I didn't see the queen, I didn't get the marker, but you know, that happens. She's still doing an amazing job. I have some images of eggs and larvae to show you guys, so you can see the really up-close versions of them. As always, if you like the video, please like it. It helps us a lot. Comment down below if you have any comments, questions, or anything that you want to know more about the bees. Make sure you click here to subscribe and right down here to watch the last videos. Thanks for watching. See you guys.